Okay. I'm going to chat for just a bit. The title of this is "The Ocean Resist No Rivers." I heard that in some movie I watched yesterday. I think today, for myself, what I want to hear, what I want to talk about, what I'm thinking about, is the purpose we all have in our lives, like where we find purpose and how we direct our energy and what we give our energy to, and how can we make sense for ourselves this world. The key for me recently has been to just kind of let go of understanding anything or saying anything. To not have expectations is a big one. To kind of work your way through different things, to work your way through different creative projects, to work your way through your job and your circumstances with people or money or work or just other weird things you'll find yourself interacting with in this world. Um, the key for me has really just been to not say anything. Like I feel like sometimes I get ill from words, like from people and their words and their projections. Um, excuse me. That sort of just get put onto me all the time, or just onto everyone, where we almost feel like obliged to. I'm gonna close this so I don't look all fucking white, but just so we don't feel, I think most of us just feel obliged to just kind of keep up with some other person, whether it's forced or just on a personal level. Um, it gets tiring though. It really does, especially when these people come to you with problems and they almost just expect you to solve them or to drop everything you have going on in your life to cater towards this area, and that gets fucking tiring. That gets real tiring. And when I have these conversations, you have to realize that it's it's a generalization amongst my experience, as well as there is some specifics. I'm probably ranting about, but what I try to get at is more of a generalization of what I see amongst different people and situations. One thing I probably have heard in like a lecture, but I wrote down in my notebook and I recently reread that you can't control people's sexuality and drugs. Um, what I mean by that is like when there's multiple different things that people can go into, little niches, you can't really control what they do, and that's huge. That's a huge thing. Some will argue that certain drugs or certain ideologies limit uh, perspectives, like limit others from understanding certain things. And I could agree to that to an extent, but I also agree that outside of certain people's worlds or certain groups' worlds, other things do not exist. And what I think you could say about that in a larger scale is like there's certain facts about reality, about the natural laws that govern our universe that science states, or there are certain religious or spiritual facts that religions state that are forced upon us in some sort of way or another. Um, and some can contradict one another and some can coexist amongst that contradiction. But to me, what I have to realize is like some people just do not have information when we are in the we have information at the at our fingertips. And what I mean by information is there's information where it directly informs your reality, your local physical reality. And there's information that has no direction or has no direct impact amongst the physical reality, but just the mental image or mental reality that you exist in. And there's so many worlds that are fractalizing from this complexification of kind of multiple realities forming at once. And people can access them at like any given moment, and it's beyond time. Like the global village, as I call it, the screens. It's not what I came up with, but it's just what I call it. A guy named Marshall McLuhan, I heard first use the term the global village. But it has no concept of time. You can just turn it on and it's just there. Any information, anything you want, virtually. And hell, we're getting to a point where you can order almost anything to your door in the matter of a day, less or sometimes more, depending on the item. One thing about this world, I'm glad weed is getting more normalized. Weed is a great drug. It's probably one of the only drugs I take part in these days or lately, or caffeine. But you know, they all have their effects, and you have to live with those choices. I love getting lost in thought sometimes because you can go anywhere. And that's another thing that ties into this is like no one goes and wanders their mind that much. People wander the exploration of substance and different types of drugs, I would say. But there are very vast, and I would almost like to use the word dense impacts amongst certain drugs, amongst like the psyche and the human mind. And some drugs are categorized in some groups that do not belong together, and I think that can really affect the global perception or the localized perception of drugs in general. I think I get sometimes annoyed with where I live, and sometimes the people who surround me, but at the same time, I know they're no different than me, and I have to remind myself that a lot. There's someone I saw today and met at an event, and they were struggling with that, and I told them something I have to remind myself. I don't know where I heard it, but it's something I have to remind myself daily, almost daily, where it's everyone's first time living. I don't know if you heard that train, but there's confirmation. A little synchronistic moment. But it's the most true thing you can think of. And when you have that sort of realization, in my opinion, everything dissolves. All the limits and expectations you put in front of yourself, they dissolve. and you end up being able to fucking do anything. Kids doing kids things outside. Anyway, I like keeping these short because that's what thoughts are sometimes. I'm gonna go travel the mental matrices of the universe. Yeah, I've never watched Star Trek. But should I watch Star Trek? Maybe. Oh my god, I'm telling you this. I was at a fucking concert, middle of the concert, psychedelic punk show. You know, we're fucking jamming. I'm high. I look to my right, a TV's on, and guess what the fuck is playing? Star Wars.